Well, welcome everyone. My name is Phyllis. It's Saturday. It is April the 2nd. Believe it or not, I cannot believe we're already in the month of April, and I'm going to be your conference call host and speaker today. So I'm going to go over a couple things. First, I'm going to actually go over some announcements that I want to share with you because they are pretty impressive. So let me just get there. All right. All right, here we go. So first of all, I want to just basically share a couple really cool things that are happening right now. If you were a part of last month's, we had a couple hundred people in our community that indicated they were interested in getting a free merchandise. And pretty cool. So I'm going to share with you that that's actually happening as we speak right now. So if you are one of them, you want to make sure that you get yourself, get your information filled out, get your orders placed. All that information for you to look at is directly in the Telegram group. And if you're in Discord, it's there as well. A lot of other things happening, guys, too. There is so many things happening on the marketing side. We just recently, there's a Medium, I think it's called I don't know whether they call it I don't know if it's it's like almost like a social media paper of some sort. It's called Medium. And so there's a great article in there. So if you haven't read that yet, this is definitely something that you might want to go ahead and take a stab at because it has some incredible information. Also, I want you to also know that we're doing some amazing things. The Vetter platform is going to have a ton to go through this ecosystem. I can tell you right now, we're going to have a charting tool. We're going to have a Launchpad. Okay, the traffic is going to be crazy. So I want you to realize we're going to have also, a pre-sale. We're going to have a TA analysis. We're going to be doing NFTs and also something called rumors, which I'm not going to give it away because I want you to be basically to hear it when it actually comes. It's going to be absolutely insane. I want you to look at some results that we had as well. Now, these are our weekly stats, okay, from the 24th until the 30th. Can't wait to see this week's. This is what I want to share with you. Our gains, okay, our top reported gains were over 1,900%. 28 projects doing over 150% gain in 24 hours. There were 20Xs, 10Xs, 5Xs, 3Xs, all reported in our top gain section, which is pretty impressive. And I'm going to share with you where that is in a little bit. Real people with real successes happening. Okay, this gentleman by the name of Vodka Hawk, he is from Australia. I think his name is Lucas. Being a part of the Vetter community has given me the opportunity to grow a humble 3-figure portfolio into a thriving 5-figure one. Guys, that to me is pretty dang exciting. There's also some other things here. And actually, let me just go, I went backwards a little bit. I want to share with you the advertising that's going on. That's insane. If those of you don't know where this is actually in London in what's called the Tube. So we have advertising happening there. Over here is what we're doing is we have the contest that happened, okay, where you can actually order your swag or your merch from vetterstore.com. So pretty exciting times. So what I want to share with you today, and before I get into that, I just want to share a little bit about, the daily sessions and what we do here. The daily sessions are actually an overview of our dApp, which I'm going to share with you in just a minute. And as I said in the beginning, my name is PSC100X Phyllis, and we're going to cover today how to best utilize the most incredible Vetter platform out there on the planet, guys. And I'm not kidding. This call will be interactive. Saturdays are a little bit of a quieter call. That's okay, because those of you who are here are most important and you're going to get my undivided attention. So raise your hand if you have a question or drop them in the comment section. We'll cover all them. Also, if you can't speak because you're in a place where you can't actually, open up your mic, then go ahead and just, send something to me in the chat. chat, but if you also can really chat with me live, you can do that or as well. So whether you're here as a veteran in our community or whether you're a brand new person that just started today, I'm going to show you how you can best utilize this incredible research tool that's in the crypto space that I've ever seen in my entire life. We've had people, as you just saw, okay, getting 2X's, 5X's, 10X's, and beyond, and that's pretty impressive. So if you're brand new and you have no idea what I'm talking about, I want to say congratulations, because you popped into a call that you're going to be so thankful for, when we actually move forward. So if you're brand new and you don't know what Vetter is or how you can get tokens or any of that, go ahead and go to vetter.ai, and you can learn what we're doing, how we're doing it, and how you can get involved in this incredible space that we call the Vetter platform. So I'm going to share with you some things, guys, because I think last week or maybe the week before, I had shared some things that I do, and I'm a purple Vetter in the space, okay, in our platform, in our platform of Vetter. So I am like I said, I'm a purple Vetter. So what I want to go with you is I want to go over with you some things that I basically talk about or ask when I'm in a Telegram group. Now, some of this may be a little repeated for some of you because I've actually done a portion of this, but not all of it. I'm going to do all of it today. Okay. The first thing I'm going to talk about is when I get into a Telegram group, what I do is I actually introduce myself as who I am from the Vetter community. Why do I do that? Because I want people to ask, what is Vetter? Who are you? And when they start to actually see the questions that I ask, okay, they're going to realize that it might be something that they should also be looking at. So not only am I going to try to find projects where I'm going to be able to ask questions in the Telegram group that's going to bring value to a project that I'm vetting, but I'm also going to bring value to the Vetter platform as well, right? Because why not? If I can do it, you can do it, and so can everyone else. So let's talk about the project and let's talk about the contract. So these are some of the things that I ask. When I'm in the main chat with them in their Telegram group, I always ask them what their main argument is for investors to actually hold on to their token for a long period of time. Now, what does that mean? Let me give you an example. Okay, the Vetter token. Okay, we are launching what's called VPAD, and actually it's not going to be called that, it's going to be called something else, but we're going to be launching a Launchpad. So when you're holding Vetter, okay, and you're staking your Vetter, I'm sorry, not your Vetter, your VPAD, what's going to happen is, and you hold that, you're going to actually get a beaucoup of rewards. So our process is people want to hold our token because, number one, they're going to have and utilize this incredible platform that I'm about to share with you, because there's different levels and therefore you have to hold the tokens in order to get to some of those levels. So you want an answer from them, like, what is it? What's exciting about their project? And guys, if they can't give you one or two aspects of that, then it may not be something that you really want to get yourself into. So what's the competitive advantage in comparison to other projects? Now, I ask that question. I want to know, because I want them to be able to speak to me. And guys, here's the thing. I'm looking for answers. I'm looking for communication. I'm looking for two-way dialogue. If it's a utility that's involved, okay, when will that be ready? Okay, because a lot of times what happens, now our Vetter platform was ready actually, I think a couple of weeks after we launched. It was actually ready before that, but we wanted to make sure that it was working properly. So we had a utility that was ready to roll. A lot of times what happens is there's a lot of tokens out there that have a great utility, but what happens is it's not ready for 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe even 6 months to a year later. The other question I ask is the contract a fork of another contract, or was it made from scratch? Now, what does that mean? It basically means, was their contract taken from somewhere else, Or did the developers create their own contract based on their own experiences with new and incredible different types of tokenomics and different types of scenarios like we created within the Vetter platform? What is your marketing budget? Very big deal, guys. And you want to know what kind of marketing budget they have now and also what they're going to have after your launch. Because here's the thing, you can market all you want in the beginning stages of your planning your launch. But if you don't continue to market after your launch, your project will go flat. Okay, that means that your project will go away. Ask them, what influencers have they contacted? You want to know that. Are they influencers that you've actually heard about? Are they people that you've never heard about? You want to know basically, what kind of money they're going to spend on those influencers. And I'm going to tell you why in just a little bit. The next questions I asked that are all revolves around the pre-sale and the launch. What will be the initial market cap at launch? You want to know that because you want to make sure it's a realistic target. Now, if they're doing a meme coin, right, and their starting market cap is like through the roof, okay, 600, 700, 800,000. Okay, that kind of tells you something, right? It tells you that, is that realistic for a meme coin? Or it could be realistic for a utility such as the Vetter, like VPAD. Do they have a seed or private sale? Okay, if so, how much was raised? You want to know that. How many wallets participated? Why? Because you want to make sure that those participants are not going to be able to dump on the day of launch. What was the hard cap? And what was the minimum and maximum bought? You want to know that because if there was maybe you want to know how many wallets were there. If there was 1,000 wallets, okay, and the minimum was, or the maximum was 4 BNB, you already have a pretty good understanding about how much they've already earned, right? How much they've already have, and what's going to happen to all those BNB. Is that going to dump when you first get in? The pre-sale, the public or the whitelist, is a combination. What are they? You ask the question, do you have a pre-sale? You have a whitelist? Or is it a public? Or is it a combination? So what does that tell you? Again, that tells you about the pressure, the buying pressure. If they had nothing but public sales and pre-sales and whitelist, okay, and I'm sorry, let me back up, pre-sales and whitelist and private sales, okay, you think there's going to be any buying pressure when they open up on PancakeSwap? Probably not. So you want to know that question. What is the whitelist process, if there's one? You kind of want to know. Tell them to explain it to you. I already went over this, but I'm going to talk about it again. How many wallets will be whitelisted? That's important because, again, that's going to give you an idea about what the buying pressure is going to be when you're actually involved in the day that you're launching. Which platform will the project launch from? And what are the reasons why you did that? What was the specific reason why you chose to actually use that? Now you might say, why would I care? Well, because there's some out there that we never heard of, right? And if you Google one, if you never heard of them, okay, and they're launching on that platform, you kind of want to make sure you're doing a little bit of research to figure out what platform it is, okay? Is it some bogus platform, or is it a platform that you have confidence in? Some more about the projects and contract. Oops, I'm actually going backwards. It's my mouse. It scrolls up and not back. Are they planning on having any anti-bot measures for the pre-sale, okay, or the launch? If yes, what are they? Ask them that question. Is that going to be something like you're going to, for the first 20 minutes, you're going to have a 99% tax? So you have to be extra careful when you're actually getting ready, when you're in, and so you're careful so that when you're going to get ready to pull profit, you make sure that you're not at a 99% tax. So you want to know what those anti-bot measures are. Are they going to let the bots get in first? Okay. Or are you going to get in first? What's going to happen? Team communication. Now, while you're asking these questions, you should be getting responses, right? However, if you're not getting any responses, the question you might want to ask yourself is, why not? Why am I not getting responses? And I'm going to give you an idea about what happened to me the other day. I was doing a deep dive into a project that I actually put on the calendar. And I was in the middle of vetting it, and I went in and I started asking questions. I asked, questions about the developer. I asked if I could actually send an inbox message to them. They said yes. She was actually on the Telegram. She said, sure. Guys, I can't tell you, it was not long, hours after that Telegram group was gone. Now, I don't know what that means. Okay. Does it mean that they decided to pull out of the project? Did it mean that I spooked them because I was asking questions? I don't know. Okay. But communication is the number one criteria. Did they have a recent AMA? And if they did, was it recorded? Tell them to put the link out there. Then go listen to it. Make sure it's something that you want to really stick your teeth into, right? If they haven't had an AMA, ask them, when are you going to have it? When are you going to have a voice chat? Are you going to open your voice chat during your pre-sale and your live launch? That's an important question, because I can tell you, if I go to a pre-sale, and even if I have a whitelist and I go to their Telegram group and they're going live in 15 minutes and there is no chat open, I will not invest in that token. I want to see communication right up to the time of launch and after the launch, right? Who are the developers of the contract? Are they a part of a core team? Or are they subcontracted? And you might scratch your head and say, why does that matter, Phyllis? Well, it matters because if the core team, okay, they work together and they have been working together for a while, like the Vetter core team, okay, you can feel very confident that, number one, they work well together. There's different talents that they bring to each other. They know each other. If they're a subcontractor, I don't know about you, but if I use subcontractors in the past for like painting and doing things in my house, okay, whew, it's like, it's impossible to get them to show up. Okay, they go to the job that, they're going to get the most money from. Why do they want to come and paint my house for a couple $1,000s when they can go paint someone else's whole home for $10,000? I'm going to be the last person, right? I'm going to be the last person standing. So that's what I mean about a subcontractor. There's no allegiance. How many previous projects have that developer been involved in? And what were the outcome? What were they? Guys, you can go take a look yourself and look at the chart and see how they did, so you can make a decision whether that's good for you. If you go look at a chart and it looks like it pump and dumped, well, if that's the kind of project you want to get into, and I'm not saying they're bad to get into, okay, but you need to know when to get out of them. Maybe that chart will help you to get in and out, okay? Or maybe that chart will show you, how that's going to actually move. It should probably and will probably move in the same pattern. How many members are on the core team and the external team, if any? And you want to ask that because if you have one person and they have this huge utility that they're trying to actually get together, the chances of them getting that out, guys, is going to be actually almost next to nothing. It's not going to happen. So if they're a one team man or a couple teams and they have this huge project, you can bet that unfortunately that's not going to fail. How long does their team work together? Did they just start? Did they work together on their last project? There's all types of questions revolving about that. Let me give you an example. A few months back, I actually vetted a project that was called Fat Cake, and it did really, really, really well. out of the gate. A lot of us who got into that, I scouted and vetted the project. A lot of us made some good money. But all of a sudden, there was some weirdness that started happening, okay, in their Telegram group. Now, I did kind of make friends with the developer. So I started speaking to him. And I'm like, what's going on? Well, he had to fire his entire dev team for some shenanigans that they were doing. They wind up being okay because he hired a whole new team. But that's the point about how long does your team work together? Do they know each other? Is the project the sole focus of the team? Or are they, again, involved in other projects where they're going to be hopping from one project to the next project to the next project? And does that mean that the project that you're looking at is going to be put on the back burner? Is the team doxed? Are they planning to dox? And if yes, when? A little bit about the tokenomics. I ask questions like this. You might say, you might be in there for a long time, Phyllis. And you're right, I could be, depending on if I'm getting answers. If I'm not getting answers, I'm moving on. If I'm getting some answers, but I don't want to be over annoying, right? I'll just go back maybe later that day or tonight or tomorrow and ask a few more questions. You can do that, right? How are the influencers being compensated? And you might say to yourself, why does that matter? If they're marketing, that's a great thing, isn't it? Yeah, it is a great thing. However, okay, if they're paying them in their native token, you could bet, unless they're vested, okay, those influencers are going to be dumping those tokens in the very beginning of that launch. And what's going to happen to you? Okay, you're going to get dumped on. So if they're paying them in BNB or BUSD in another token, that's great, because that's not going to influence the price. That won't hurt you. Now, is there a vesting period? And if so, how are they going to use it? What does that mean? Does that mean that who's vested? The private sale? Them? The owners? The team? Find out a little bit about that, because that also can either be good for you or not good for you, depending upon how much the vesting period is, how long it is, how long would the liquidity be locked for, and what's that amount. Get those numbers. You may not even know what they mean, but get those numbers anyway, and then reach out to someone who does know what that means. Are there any increase in taxes that are different than the tokenomics that are in the white paper? This has to do with the initial start of the launch, like we talked about a little bit, more about, are they having an anti-bot, that's going to change, and what is it, so you're aware. How do you plan to get buying pressure on the launch, especially if they had a seed sale or a pre-sale? Okay, how are they going to stop investors from dumping on that in the first hours? Okay, is there an anti-wallet, which we talked about already? Is it a hyper-deflationary token? Is there a burn wallet, or is it an actual burn to a dead wallet with the reduction in supply? These are questions. Again, you may not know the answers to these questions. It doesn't matter. Okay, get the answers and then go look them up, or come and ask, someone, or go into the Telegram group. Okay. One more slide on this, and then I'm going to jump into the dApp. Is the tax rate variable? So what does that mean? That means that, are there different levels of the tax rate? I've been in projects where they'll have the tax rate for the first 30 minutes to be one thing, and then over the next hour, it'll be another thing. So it may be real high in the beginning, and it might start dropping down. Okay, you need to know that, so you know whether you're, how you want to plan your exit strategy if you're going to exit out of that. Okay, were there any activities leading to people receiving free tokens? You need to know that as well, right? Because again, I'm talking about the whole dumping mechanism. Who's going to dump those free tokens? Were there, did they send airdrop tokens out to people? And what were they for? Can they utilize those at the launch? Are there any reflections? You can also look at the white paper for that, because that's in there. any burns or buyback features planned? If yes, what is the purpose of that? What's the purpose of those features? So guys, I hope you got some value, in that. Now, I know it's a lot of information, and I really don't expect you to understand it all, but I know each of you who are on this call right now, you were definitely taking some notes, right? There's no question in my mind, because why would you not take screenshots of everything that you've actually just saw, right? So you can utilize them. That's, what I would have done. And I'm sure that you did too, because you're all very savvy investors. So the next thing I'm going to talk about, guys, is our calendar itself. Okay, does somebody need something? Let me just make sure. Hold on. No. Okay. All right. The calendar itself. Guys, this is the calendar that we actually choose what tokens that we want to actually get involved in, what projects. And I'm going to share with you how to do it, what to look for. And I just gave you a bunch of information, right, on what to look for in a project. Okay, right? I mean, you can go to any one of these projects right now and go look. And you know what? You don't probably have to even, you might not even have to ask all those questions, because you can actually search in their Telegram group too to see if they've already been answered. Okay, that might save you some time. So this is our calendar, and this is our dashboard. Now, our dashboard is pretty exciting. Okay, this here is all about you. This is your own personal space. This says that I'm a green scout. It says that I'm a purple vetter and I'm a purple voter. This also indicates how much money I make when I'm actually scouting a project or vetting a project or voting on a project. This also gives me an indication about how many points I'm away from getting to purple rank. This here is a hot list of different projects that Purple Scouts have actually put on the calendar. Those who have a decent track record. Maybe you want to take a look at them and see if it's something you want to invest in. This is just a glance, at this chart. Look, you can see the purples and the greens, and there's beiges, guys, and beiges are really good as well. We're finding a lot of the beiges are doing some exceptional work these days. Okay, there's a couple reds. You might want to stay away from them for a while. It doesn't mean that they're bad. It just means that maybe they had some bad luck. Okay. Team stats. This is important because you might want to see like who's the top tip scout these days. Okay, who are the leaders? Because if you're looking at them, right, you might want to go take a look at what they've actually scouted. And maybe it's something that you might want to follow. And there is a follow me feature coming soon. The top paid scouts, the top tipped vetters, okay, the top paid vetters. Why are they all important? Because it gives you someone that you can actually go to and look at what they've actually done. The gains and tips section. Love this. Okay. I want you to look at this. You have 1, 2, 3 times this one person has been given tips. Okay. There's 1, 2, 3 times this person has been given a tip. Maybe that's somebody you need to look at. Really, you might want to look at them. Whoever Hypnotape is, they had a 5X. Okay. You might want to take a look at them. Do you have to tip people when you do well? No, it's just a nice gesture to be able to do that, to kind of say, hey, thanks for doing a great job. And I just made some money. So thanks so much. Let me get rid of this. Okay. The next thing is our tiers. Each one of these tiers represents a different level of usage on the platform. So what does that mean? That means at this basic level, you're probably just going to see basic stuff. And as you start to, you don't have to own any vetter to look at the calendar. Tier 1, okay, you're going to need to have 10,000 better, and you're going to be able to see some of the ICO informations. Okay, tier 2, if you have 25,000, you're going to be able to see some of the vetted information. Tier 3, okay, it's 100,000, and that means that you're going to see some of the color coding. Okay, that's a really good thing, right? Because you want to know, is it purple? You know, what color are they? Okay, yeah, because that's important for you to actually know, so you can actually know who to follow. Tier 5 and that tier 4, I'm sorry, that's what that's what I'm going to actually show you now. You're going to see all of this in tier 5 because that's what I'm at. This is the access to library. Well, this is great. We're actually adding to this as we speak. This is a good area for you to start, so you can kind of get familiar with what's back here. Okay. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time. You could just get it from right here. Okay, so I'm getting it from the dashboard, but you can also get it right here as well. So let's go and let's take a look, make sure I covered everything here. I did. And let's now take a look at the calendar itself. Now, as you can see in the calendar, there's all these menu bars up here, and they all do something very different, and they do something very awesome. The first one actually shows you all the networks that could possibly be listed here from a scout. So what does that mean? That means, you know what, I may be a scout, but I'm not really crazy about, you know, the Cardano network. So I don't want to post anything from there. And I may be a person who doesn't want to look at the Cardano network, but I want to look at the other networks that are posted here. Well, you can do that. Now, you can either keep this unclicked and have all your options, or if you wanted to just see something maybe on the Binance network, you can click that, and it helps you filter out what it is that you don't want. Launchpad. Now, Ryan did an amazing job on this the other day about Launchpad Friday. Taught you a little bit about what it is, you know, why we use them. Now, not to be confused with, I don't want people to be confused with their Coinbase account or PooCoin or Dex Tools. Okay, they're exchanges. They're not a Launchpad. Launchpad is where a token actually launches from. And typically, like VPAD, we're going to be coming out with that soon. We're going to be able to have, you know, tokens launching from our Launchpad. Okay, and if you're a holder, you're going to be able to get to those projects. And let me explain what I mean. BSC pad is a Launchpad. You have to have some of their tokens in order to go to there and to see what good projects are launching. Okay, Unicrypt is the same thing. It's a Launchpad where you have to actually hold their token. So VPAD is going to be the same way. So that's going to be pretty awesome for the better token. When you say DX Sale and Ping Sale are two Launchpads that don't require, you know, any token, you don't have to buy any tokens. However, just so you know, the quality sometimes you really have to dig through. So it's important for you to understand that when you're looking at some of those types of projects, you want to make sure that you do some of your due diligence, especially like what I shared with you in the very beginning. Category. There's all different types of category in this space. Okay, there's gaming, there's Launchpads, which I just spoke about, right? There's meme tokens, there's NFTs, there's rewards, there's utilities, and I'm sure there's some out there that don't even have a name yet. Okay, and we'll find that's going to be coming out, I'm sure, pretty soon. Okay, so what is it that you like? Like, what really makes you excited? Is it gaming? Is it rewards? So you can filter this, guys, by any way that you want to. So you don't have to actually go through all the projects. Okay, you can go through the ones that you want. Event type. Is it a private sale? Now, the private sale in the beginning, right? I spoke about the private sale, that you want to know who the private sale holders are because they can dump. Okay, you want to know all that. And you might say to yourself, well, shouldn't I get into a private sale? You can. And I'm not saying that they're not good to get into. I'm just sharing that you want to make sure that you know who the developers are, like the developers of Vetter, right? You know they've already had a successful project before you actually get involved in a private sale. Is it a pre-sale? That's where it's going to launch, probably from a pink sale or DX sale or from a Launchpad of some sort. And that means that you're going to be able to get it in at the next lowest price. Private sale is the lowest price. Okay, pre-sale is the next lowest price. That means that you're getting in prior to the public launch, which will be on, PooCoin or PancakeSwap. Okay, fair launches. Fair launches are kind of neat too. That means that you're going to get into a project that's not on a Launchpad, or it could be on a Launchpad too. There are Launchpads that you can actually, get into fair launches. They're kind of fun, but again, you want to make sure your due diligence. Okay, you want to make sure you do your due diligence for sure. And then there's IDOs. Now, the ranks are pretty exciting because we already talked about the purple ranks being the most top rated ranks. Okay, pretty great, right? So that means that when you click on any of these tokens, okay, I'm not saying that they're going to win for you, but their track record is good. Okay, if you want to see green and purple, okay, their track record's good. If you want to see all of them, and I suggest that you take a look at everything out here, guys, with the exceptions maybe of the reds. We even have some great yellows coming up the pike, okay, who are starting to really do well. What's Oracle used for? Oracle is used for so you can actually pick out projects that do well in certain durations. Now, you'll say, well, how do you know the project hasn't launched yet? Well, you're not really picking out the project. You're really picking out the color of the scout. So if a scout has done well within a 24-hour period, it's going to show you those scouts and those projects that might have that ability. Okay, that's what I mean by that. And you can do that by each one of these subcategories. Oracle is a really fun, I like it. I actually like to look at projects that are actually vetted. Okay, personally. Okay, not all projects are vetted because there's a lot less vetters than there are scouts. Okay, however, you can actually do that. You can actually do, if you want to know who, perhaps, I don't know, you don't want to have to be bothered with whitelist. Maybe you want to eliminate them. So that means that everything else on here, if you click on has a whitelist, you might want to go see these if you want to get involved in a whitelist. So go through these and look and see, hey, maybe you want to get into a launch that's getting ready to launch right now. Today's Saturday, right? Okay, well, there's one at 4:30 in the afternoon, which we probably just missed, However, you could. So let's go back. Let me go back to the calendar. And let's take a look at a couple projects. And let me just take off any of these here. Now, one of the projects that we're looking at is called Octagon. If I can just spell it right. Didn't it just show up a second ago? All right, let's, I think they spell it OC. Or is it OX? I think they spell it OC. Oh, here we go. It didn't like me for a minute. Octagon. Well, this is actually launching on the 7th. It was supposed to launch today, but it was actually moved. Okay. Now, if you already saw this project presented to you, can you give me a show of hands? so that I don't go into this project, because no sense of going into a project that you've already seen. Okay. Let's see here. Okay, I don't see any hands raised, I don't think. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and go into that then. So I like to look at projects, you know, first of all, it's scouted by a you know, a pretty good scout, actually very good scout, a purple scout. And there's a couple of things that I like to look at when I'm actually doing this. Okay, I like the fact that it's a private and pre-sale. I look at those. Okay, they're important to me. I like to also look at their Telegram group and their website, which I'm going to share with you in a minute. Okay, because we're going to take a look at some of the things that we discussed earlier to see if we can find any trends. So I like this. I like that there's a pretty large soft cap and a good, you know, good digit hard cap. I like that in a project. Okay, it may take less time to fill. If it's a 50, you know, on pink sale, you're not going to get in, especially if you're not whitelisted. And if you are whitelisted, you probably won't get in either. Okay, so these are the positives that the scout found. Liquidity lock was for 5 years. There's 0% team tokens. Okay, there's a 6% reward that you get of their token. They have a unique NFT collection. Their roadmap in white paper looks pretty good. And be ready for the biggest gem in Binance Smart Chain top 100 CMC. Well, that came from obviously from the website, because we have, you know, our scouts won't tell you that, but that's what they're saying that the owners of the project said. So there's no red flags that he can report right now. A little bit about Octagon. It combines all other coins features into one. Octagon is a tech venture. It identifies and replicates successful pure play business model for the global markets. Octagon works to build, launch, and scale high growth ventures. I don't know what all that means, but we'll have to take a look and see. Sometimes what happens is, and I find that they use all these big things, all these big words, and you know, you have to kind of scratch your head and say, what the heck are they talking about? So sometimes you have to get to the nitty gritty and get into their Telegram group. This is the supply. This is always an important thing to look at, what the token supply is, how much is going to be used for the pre-sale, how much is going to be used for liquidity. Okay, and if there was a private sale, you're going to want to know how much was used for private sale, right? So you want to take a look at this. All right, so let's go into the next thing, which is our Telegram group, and I'm going to open that up, and I'm already a member, but tap to verify. Why do I have to do that every time I come in? Okay, I guess it must be their way of spot checking everybody. I don't mind because I'm legitimate, right? Okay, now it says you can go back to here. I never understood these things, guys. Like, why can't I get to their website? Let's see. Anybody have any ideas on that? You can chime in. Or do I click on that link? Oh, that's what it does. All right. Never had to play that game before. Any rate, this is Octagon. And can someone just shout out for me one of the things that we talked about in the beginning parts of this whole presentation? Name one thing that we basically said to look at or ask about or try to find so we can identify whether the project is even worth looking at. Anybody have something that they can actually shout out or put in the chat box? I hear somebody trying to talk. All right. So Brian, are you trying to talk, my friend?
Well, I am unmuted. And I was going to probably suggest how many people are either scouting it or vetting it, the number of people that are, is that one of the things?
Well, no, because we don't really know who in this Telegram group is vetting or scouting the project. But if we want to know how many people are in the Telegram group and how many people are actually active, that we can get right from here. So it looks like about,
Okay.
little over 10% of their people are active in their Telegram group. But that's a good start. Let's see if anybody else can actually tell me another good one that we need to be looking for. As if you were looking at this project and you're looking to invest in it based on some of the examples I gave earlier. Okay. All right. Hey, Verdon.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. Thanks, my friend. You want to help us out on that?
Yes, I think I may be able to put something in here. Apart from the activity of the group, the numbers, are any of the devs involved in the chat so that if we have a question, we could ask?
That's a good point. And how do you do that? You kind of go here, right? And you want to look. Sometimes they'll have the dev and they'll say dev. Okay. Sometimes they won't. So we may not be able to find the dev, but we can ask the question, right? We can ask the question, to them, who is the dev or devs for this project? Okay, well, we can ask the question and see if they answer. Okay, that's a good point. So let's see what happens. What are some other things that we can look for in here?
AMAs, maybe?
Absolutely. And you can actually search that, right? You can go right here and you can put AMA. And you can actually see there was an announcement, let's see here, that there was an AMA. This was on the 3rd, I think, of April. And there's actually a recorded call here. So if you wanted to look at a recorded call or hear a recorded call, you can actually do that. Okay, good point. What else, guys? Give me another one. Shout it out.
What their goal is, financial goal is. I forgot what it's called. Their market cap or something.
Yep. You can actually go here and put in market cap. Let's see. Market cap. Okay. So will the launch be at 260,000 market cap?
And how quickly they're reaching it?
It says yes, it will be at 260. So that's the new Octagon official chat person. So we know that somebody from the team actually asked the question, right? Exciting. All right. Now, some other things that you might want to take a look at, right, is their pink sale.
Pink sale. Yeah.
And you could get some information here, right? You can get an understanding of how many people are whitelisted. So there's 114, there's 1,140 addresses. Wow, that's a lot. And if the max buy is 3.5, this could actually fill up pretty rapidly, right? So there are just some things that you can look at. All right. Let me just move on and go back to the Octagon. All righty. So I hope that was helpful. There's a lot more, okay? But I want to be able to actually, kind of get an opportunity to get into a project that maybe you want me to get into. And it says here, Nuncio, I want to know about Polypad. it comes 7.4. And can you help the group members to get in or in other projects? Nuncio, I'm going to ask you to try to describe what you're asking me a little better, because I'm not sure what you mean. Hello. All right. Well, I'm going to try to take a stab at maybe what I think you mean. I'm not really positive. I want to know about Polypad. So is Polypad on the calendar? It is. Okay, Polypad. And you wanted to know, it said it comes 7.4. I'm not sure what you mean, unless you're seeing something on one of the call channels that says it's a 7.4 out of 10. Maybe that is what you mean. Okay. But let's take a look. Okay, it's on Polygon, which is a good network. Okay, it's a fair launch. Okay, and the fair launch is happening on the 7th. Let's take a look at the information here. Well, there's nothing here really written, and it talks about Bluezilla, and which is a great, a nice a Launchpad out there. Let's see, there's no fundraisers, there's no IDOs. It's arguably the most promising second layer platform, you know, whatever all that means. It's all technical mumbo jumbo for me, right? But however, you can still get a lot of information. You know, you want to go to their Telegram group, and I'm going to join it. And it mutes me out right away, which I don't like. And I'm not sure why, because this is all one-way communication. So I'm not quite sure. This is the announcement channel. So maybe they didn't give me the actual channel, the official channel. Let's just see. I don't know if this is it or not. It's kind of nerve-wracking, actually. Let's try to decide if it is the right channel. Let's take a look here and see if we can find a website. Let's see. This says, it's a little confusing. Let me get out of here for a second. Let me go back to that T group. Oops. I opened up the wrong tab. Did I not? Of course I did. All right. Let me go back here. Let me go back here because I want to see Polypad. I just want to see, is it the same website that they're actually using in their group? Okay. Let's see here. It didn't give me anything, did it? See, here's one of the things, guys, that doesn't work for me. And it doesn't mean that this project's a bad project. But if I have to work this hard to try to get information from a project, I'll be honest with you, I normally don't spend time on it. But since we're here and we have another few minutes, okay, let's just, I don't even know whether this is the right Telegram group, because what was, I got to assume it is. Okay, so let's take a look. Okay, now we do see dialogue, right? There seems to be some normal dialogue. Okay. Let's see. What coin should I buy now? I'm not sure if that might not be someone who is, that might not be real. I don't know. Have you tried cleaning your cache? Anyone facing issues to pair up LP on the quick swap? Well, that obviously is somebody for real, right? Because I don't think a bot would be that good to actually be able to do that. So yeah, it looks like there's some activity here, guys. You know, there's 4,000, well, 3,300 people on the actual chat online right now. I don't know what that means because it doesn't look like it's that active that, you know, we have all these, let's see, well, maybe so. 430, 450, 455, 427. I'm looking at the time frames that people actually come on. There's a pretty big gap here. So I look at things like that to make me think, you know, what is, you know, what's the deal here? Is this real? And honestly, the jury's out because I really can't, I don't have enough time to really dig into it. But it looks like there's some communication. Okay, so let's go back and let's get to, oops, did that. Let's go back and get back to the actual calendar on Polypad. And let me just open this up so you can actually see it better. Let's look at the website. Maybe we can gain some insight there. Okay, that's not good. Let's try it again. Maybe it's it could have been my problem. Let's see. It's taking a little bit of time to opening up, which is, you know, a little unusual. Not sure, guys. If I can't get this to open, let me go and see if I can find a Telegram group. I mean, their website again. See, it's bringing me here to the announcement channel. Let me see if here's a website here, website. Yeah, it's not really opening. I don't know, guys. So here's what I would do in a case like this. If I like what I'm seeing, but I can't get onto the website, doesn't necessarily mean that it's bad. Maybe they're doing some work on it. Okay, but I may come back to it in a different day. So I hope today has given you value, because I can tell you this, guys, without a doubt, every time I do these calls, I get more value from it, trust me, than you probably do. But if you like the call today and you want to let me know what your thoughts are. Oh, I see here, Catherine Robinson, I love your training. Thank you. Oh, you're welcome. I have seen how to select, research, and buy a token. Can you go over steps someday to sell RIP FT, or tell me where to find the process? Actually, I'm going to direct you right to Mike Klingler's, to his, let's see, Mike, his Telegram group, and you will see live, he does some live stuff, okay? Live stuff on how to rip FT. So that's something that you can actually look for. And I actually learned a lot from him, okay? Sorry, you're recovering from COVID. Oh, that's not good. Well, I hope your symptoms got better. I'm glad you loved the session. Thank you so much. And you are awesome as well, my friend. I've known you for quite a bit now, right? All right. Well, Nuncio, thanks for your question. And Catherine, thanks for your comments. And guys, it's been a great time. It's been a pleasure. I always love, sharing information with you. If there's something that you would like us to cover at another time, go ahead and quickly get it in the chat box. All right, quickly add it there because I'm going to have to end the call soon. And I want to be able to bring some of that information to you. So if there's something that you want to actually look at, maybe we can do RIP FT.
I have a quick question. Is there a 5 o'clock Zoom for the other group?
No, there's on the call today for the Vetter Trading Club was at 1 o'clock today.
Okay.
On Saturdays, it's at 1 o'clock.
On Saturdays, it's at 1, but
At 1 Eastern time, yes.
okay. But
Okay.
Monday to Friday is
It's 5 o'clock. That is correct.
all right. Thank you very much. I guess the AMA made up for that today.
I'm sorry?
The AMA made up for that today.
It did. Oh, that was amazing, wasn't it?
It was, certainly.
It was. I can't wait to re-listen to it because I have to listen and go back and re-listen because you get so excited you lose your train of thought and like, what did he just say? So at any rate, thanks for being here, everyone. Again, if you want something special that you want us to highlight, I'm going to give you another 15 seconds to throw it in the chat box and we can get that started for you at a later date on one of our calls. So it's been a great pleasure, guys. It's my hope and my prayer that you see the value in this platform because it is pretty amazing. And I want you to have a great rest of your Saturday, or it might be Sunday in some countries, and a great evening or morning or afternoon, whatever time zone you're in. And we will chat again soon. So thanks, everyone. Thanks for your support. Thanks for being here. Have a better day. Take care, guys.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.